Holy poop. Poopity poop poop poop. Alright, coming back, guys. 1 second. Coming back in. Coming back in. Just had to restart the browser. It was a Ustream thing. Okay, am I back? I'm back. Thank you. Thank you for the welcome back. There he is. There it is. Okay. Sorry about that. It's a Ustream thing. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. There's like all this crazy stuff you can do with coding. I think computer programming is great. I think engineering is a great thing to do, but I think it's better to be able to have it as a tool to figure out for other bigger things you can do. Does that make sense? So basically, I've been doing a lot of Java programming, and I've been doing a lot of math that I've been trying to like figure out and understand on my own. And so like here, this is something that I put together to develop for in a Java program, where basically it spits back the answer for a differential equation, but then it gives you like Euler's. It gives you Euler's prediction and the exact. But yeah, so like that's what happens once I run the program. It gives you back all the answers on a differential equation basically from when x equals 0.1 all the way to when x equals 9.9. You know, so you can there's so much shit you can sit here and do. It's really cool. So like that's the beautiful thing of programming, is it can be a great tool to use, you know. So that way I don't have to mathematically go through every, what is the glitch in the program that we were living in? So that way I don't have to go through every mathematical fucking formula myself. You know, I don't have to plug in every little point. It's kind of like a calculator essentially. Don't even bother asking for 10.0. Anyway, so like that's kind of like the cool stuff. That's sexy action. That's like some of the stuff that you're capable of being able to do with this. It's really cool. Looks like my bank statement. Here we print out Ashton's bank statement, as you can see. But like, yeah, I don't know. There's like all these different things that you can really do. You know, you can. Let me open this up real quick. Implement utilities. Can't stay here. I know who I want to take me home. Oh, where's one of them here? I had to make all these different ones when I was in classes. When I was in my class. So like for instance right here, I made a guessing game where you gotta guess a number and it starts to eventually tell you if it's higher or lower. But like, look at all this. This is fun. I don't know. I'm like, when I look at the code of this, it's just like, it's cool because it's like I did that, you know, and it's like, I don't know, it's just a cool feeling. Let me show you guys. Like, yeah. Just a second. Move this over. So put that. So essentially, I'll hit play. You're playing the CSC 110 guessing game. So you can enter a number between 1 and 110. So we'll say 67. Hit enter. Nope. 89. Nope. 45. Nope. 99. Nope. 32. Nope. 7. Nope. And then now it starts to tell you higher. So 57. Higher. 90. Lower. 80. Lower. 60. Higher. 70. 75. Oh, it's between 70 and 75. Let's try 73. I got it! It took me 13 guesses. Do I want to play again? So I don't know, like, that's cool little stuff right there. Look at that. Anyway. So That's the fun of programming. Oddly like mental masturbation. It is. It is. Exactly, Matota. Yeah. It will get you through the early years of building. Exactly. So, that song reminds me of the grade school. Right? I know. Keep on going. I'm getting close. Brad. Anyway, so Campa brings up something. He goes, tell us what you think the glitch in the program is. I'll tell you. And you're just going to think I'm a crazy person, Campa. Oh, goodness. I got root beer the other day, so I'm trying to finish it. Alright, so let me tell you guys this idea that I came up with, okay? Who here keeps up with quantum mechanics, keeps up with quantum physics, watches what's going on with the quantum computing world? Press 1 if you do. I'll be interested to see who all responds to this. Maybe you don't even keep up with it in a detailed way per se. You're more or less just if you hear about it, you're interested and you read about it or you listen to whoever's talking. Crickets. All right. So, is quantum mechanics a new hoopla, dude? Better question: who doesn't? You would think, right, Brad? So, as I dig personally more into the confounding is that even a word? The confusing, astounding way that quantum mechanics works, and I just think about it on a daily basis. I don't know why. I look at people and I think to myself, what is this holding them all together? It's all these weird things. Anyway, one second. Let me check something real fast. Anyway, one of my roommates is home. I know, nobody's pressing one, right? It's ridiculous. So, as I sit and I wonder, it just makes more and more sense to me that the world is nothing more than ones and zeros, because it really is. An atom behaves the same exact way that a system in a binary system would work, or that a number would work, a bit in a binary system would work. You know, you have zeros or ones. It's on or it's off. It's doing a decision to do this or it's doing a decision to do that. Everything is made of that at the very basis. And it just so happens to be that we create computers off the system coincidentally. You know what I mean? Because you think about it, it's kind of just coincidence that we created computers and, oh, they just happen, that just happens to be how the rest of the universe happens to work as well, right? You know, even your body, biologically on the inside, is zeros and ones. So I start thinking this. I start thinking, you know, when we try to get down to the very basis of like what everything is made, quantum leap, good God, Ashton's just freaking out there. When we get down to the very basis of what everything is made out of, it is insanely close to a computer. Hello. Anyway, I'm on a show here.
You are?
But I'll pull away here and go over here. Anyway, guys, when you start looking at it all makes sense that it seems to be a program, right? Later, Toil, we'll catch you later, buddy. Indifferent, no data to be announced. Good God. Yes equals 1, no equals 0. What about indifferent? But you see, that's the thing is there are no indifference. There is data, and there is. It does all come out to something. So this is what got me thinking about this. It was quantum entanglement. Let me show you guys first how I got here. So quantum entanglement suggests that basically you take two particles, take two electrons, entangle them with each other, and then no matter what the distance, you can separate them across the universe. Whatever you do to the other will instantaneously change the other one. Who is familiar with that? Quantum entanglement. Is anybody here familiar with that? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? I said bye to Toil, right? I love you, Toil. We'll catch you later, buddy. Just making sure. Does anybody not know? Is everybody lost with me right now? You've heard of it? Okay. So quantum entanglement essentially says that we can take two entangled particles, spread them apart all the way to other ends of the universe, and they transmit information instantaneous. They don't travel the speed of light. They don't. The speed of light is slow as shit compared to the size of our universe. You know, there are galaxies that are, there are stars that are, you know, light years, hundreds of millions of light years away. That means it takes hundreds of millions of years for light to travel and eventually reach that exact location. We are moving so far apart from each other in a galaxy sense that eventually all the stars, the universe, everything around us is going to become black. You know, theoretically, one could say that in a distant future, our astronomers and our, you know, cosmologists and astrophysicists won't have anything to really work with. They'll think that it's just a big black void out there, that we are the only thing sitting in our universe, right? Anyway, so going back to this, I'm getting too far off into the other subject. If something could travel instantaneous, you got to question, what is space? What is, you know, is there really space between things? Is everything really, you know? And my idea is that I start thinking to myself, you know, well, let's imagine this. Let's imagine, so object-oriented programming basically puts everything as an object or a class. Um, so like when you bring, do you know what would be perfect game for you guys to check out if you're ever interested in learning programming? Alice. Or not, it's not a game, it's called it's a programming language called Alice. It's built on 3D programming. I recommend it for anybody. So now here's the key thing is that in Alice you can instantiate a class or an object. You can bring a character into the world or the program essentially, and then you can, you know, have it do things or whatever. The thing that starts messing with me is the fact that when we're digging so small, it almost seems like we're digging into our own programming when we get that small down into things, and that's why things are so confusing to us, because we're essentially messing with the very foundation of what we are made of. I mean, that seems so obvious when I say it like that, but when you think of it in the way that I'm thinking of it, that's where all of a sudden it's kind of like, huh. So it leads me to say or to question the perception of space, the perception of distance between things. Is there really distance, you know? And then you got to stop and you got to think to yourself, let's go back to the singularity or the point of where it quote unquote exploded. I think personally the spot where we became a small bubble that expanded into a big bubble. We were a new universe that was created and brought into time. Kevin, I love you. Thank you. Exactly, Brad. Brad, that's exactly it. You tickle HMJ's butthole. Alan's dick will itch. Good God. Instantaneous. If there is such thing as instantaneous, speed of light is slower. RJ, it's not if. There is instantaneous. There is. We can measure it. We can't observe instantaneous things, but we can measure it, RJ. And that's the key thing here is that we have measured information being transported instantaneously from two entangled particles. I think the farthest distance we've done right now is like 88 miles. It's between these two islands where we shoot the information. We actually teleport the information from one atom to another. So this isn't theory anymore, guys. This is observable fact that we're catching. You know, Einstein once described quantum entanglement as a spooky, scary thing that nobody understood. But now there were two different people that made the argument about quantum entanglement. Let me see here. Because it was Einstein and who argued with him. They had this It was just a debate back and forth. Was it Rosen? No, I forget who it was. I forgot this name. Good God. This is the funny thing is that in Einstein discovered his own fucking equations, but somebody else made an argument with it. What was it? So quantum entanglement used to. Okay, so I forget who it was. I'll have to figure out that name later. Campa, if you want to pull that up for me, that'd be nice. I would really much appreciate that. So the argument was made was this. Einstein said that uh, just because you observe and do something to one doesn't automatically mean it changes the other. It just means that you found the sister to it. Uh, and then it was described like this. Imagine if you take a pair of gloves, right? And you don't know which glove you have or anything, but somebody puts these gloves one in each suitcase. And then you shut the suitcase and you take one person and he's in London, he goes to Tokyo. And then the other person goes from, just stays there in London or whatever, right? Or better yet, you take them from where you're at, you put one in London, you put one in Tokyo. You open up one suitcase. Was it Maxwell? It wasn't Maxwell. No, Maxwell, that's way long ago. Um, it is teleportation, RJ. It is. Maxwell discovered electromagnetism, but then he also, yeah, he's the one that related electricity and magnetism together, electromagnetism. So anyway, this is in much farther future. Einstein loved Maxwell. He was like a Maxwell fan. Um, so going distant in the future here, we're talking. Einstein argued that if you opened up and observed one glove and you saw it was a right hand glove, then automatically, of course, you're going to have the left hand glove on the other side of the world, sitting in Tokyo, right? So that was the constant enigma that they were caught into, this catch-22. That was just a constant argument going back and forth. Was that Einstein says, well, of course, if you observe this one, then it's going to have the opposite over here, blah, blah, blah. That makes complete sense. It's mathematical, blah, blah. And then the guy would say, no, it wasn't. It's not. The other guy would say, it's not like that until you observe it. Then all of a sudden it creates where this one reacts. So that was the thing. And the thing is, you can never test it at the time. You never could actually test it. So, um, along later on, obviously we didn't have technology. We didn't have the technology to John Stuart Bell. That's who it was. We didn't have the technology to prove it. One second. Was it Schrodinger? Maybe it was Schrodinger. It was Schrodinger who argued it. Wow, okay. It was Schrodinger and Einstein who argued back and forth. Schrodinger would say, no, it's because you observed it, that's what changed it. Einstein would say, no, it was always like that. You never changed anything. It was constantly like that. You just observed one and automatic, oh, you get the magic one on the other side. So, going back now, so Schrodinger would argue that, Einstein would argue that. So nobody could really figure it out. It was just this spooky thing that we didn't know for sure, and Einstein just basically took and said, no, it's much more simple than that. It's not spooky as you guys think it is. It's this. I do gotta commend Einstein on taking that simple route, because when you actually, it is good to look at stuff and think, and to take it and break it down and think, well, no, it's more or less this. He wasn't letting himself be fooled. And I do gotta commend Einstein on that, because that's a good thought process to be like that. So this the thing now is that what was it, the principal locality, was that it? Anyway, so this guy comes along. His name is John Stuart Bell, right? John, no, wait, wasn't that? So yeah, just a second. I think it was John Stuart Bell. comes along and he basically he's this. He does not understand Bob. He doesn't understand quantum mechanics. He thinks it's crazy to him. He thinks it doesn't make any sense, and he actually wants to disprove it. So he seeks out to actually prove this, prove the quantum entanglement wrong. He wanted to prove it wrong, and by proving this wrong, it would be one big step to fucking up quantum mechanics. This is what ends up happening. He develops the experiment ultimately, and runs a crude version of it, and guess what he ends up proving? He proves that by observing an electron that is entangled with another, it is affecting the other one. It's not that one was always there and then you opened up this one, you just had this one, so it must be that one. It is, if you observed this and it was a left glove, then that would be the right glove, yes. But it wasn't because it was already there. You observing it to be a left glove made that the right glove. Does that make sense? Kevin, we'll catch you later, buddy. Some say there are up to 12 or more dimensions. 11 in M theory. 10 dimensions of space, 1 of time. Do you think theories change with every dimension? Yeah, absolutely. Theories would change. They're totally different, yeah. We'll get into that in a second, Rick. Yeah, it was Schrodinger who, Kevin, we'll catch you later, buddy. It was Schrodinger who argued with Einstein on that. They went back and forth. So anyway, bringing up now back to the original thing. So quantum entanglement was proven. It was proven by John Stuart Bell. And then later on, a couple other people came along and through some experiments that were more complex and more accurate, and they proved it as well. So here comes this guy who was just basically saying, "Oh, I don't believe in quantum mechanics, and I can't wrap my head around it. It doesn't make any sense, blah blah. So I'm going to prove it wrong," and he ends up proving it right. So he basically is just sitting there with his, like, what? Imagine that feeling. Imagine that you do this entire thing to. Do you have me on block? No, not at all, Kempa. You said Schrodinger's cat. Asgard, I love you. Cuse, it's good to see you too, but I love you, buddy. You have a great night too. Let's talk soon. Anyway, so yeah, so this is all proved right? So quantum entanglement is a true thing where it's instantaneous, okay? That's basically what I wanted to get to the point there. So now this brings into my question of, what's time? What's, not so much time, but maybe space. What's more or less space? I don't want to ask time because it's too complicated. So you gotta think, if it's instantaneous, is it really space in between it? Is it really having to travel anything? How is it instantaneous? Nothing should be instantaneous unless it's that singular point. So then it leads me to believe that this could all be essentially a simulation, a computer program. And this is what Campa brought up before. I don't know why. For me, it just made sense. It was just like, well, we're digging into our own bits and zeros, and we can't contain electrons down to the exact spot and actually hold them, and they break out because it's not part of the program. We can't break into that part of the program. It would be like saying that if you were software inside of a computer and you're trying to break out of your computer. Think about that. The glitch. We'll get to the glitch in a second, Camp. Just wait, because I got to fill everybody else in. If it was just me and you, I would have already told you. But I got to fill everybody else in on this conversation. People need to see. Just take the red pill. Take the fucking red pill and get out of the matrix. This is the thing, is that you need to stop and think about it. It just makes so much sense. It makes so much fucking sense. There's no real space. It's like this. Who here knows the game World of Warcraft or any kind of like Diablo or Ultima Online? Who knows those RPG games where you're a character who can walk around and be somebody, and you can take hours to traverse a landscape that will literally take you forever to fucking walk there. Granted, there are tricks in the game that maybe you can teleport or take a moon gate or do some kind of crazy thing where you get there fast, right? Asgard, there you go. take the mind of the Matrix. That's not what inspired this. I didn't watch the movie The Matrix and be like, oh, we must be in the computer program. It's not that. It's something that's much more than that. But imagine you can play that game, Asgard, right there. He says right there, he's playing right now. Okay, imagine being able to take that. You know, you are a character inside there. You have your sword, you have your potions, you have food. You know, or go ahead and play Second Life. You can legitimately traverse an entire world. And it can take you a long time to do. Somebody theoretically could put together a computer game that could just simulate you walking throughout the United States. And you would legitimately have to eat. You'd legitimately have to, you know, make sure that you get shelter, take care of yourself, have good hygiene, all this and that. Eat, you know, eat correctly, you know, all these different things. Otherwise, you would end up in a certain way. It could all be part of the program. One could theoretically go ahead and program a game to be able to do such a thing, right? So now, so this brings me to another thing, you know, the singularity point, or the point of where we became the bubble, which is our universe. It's expanding exponentially ever so greatly. Um, if you rewind all back, we all were down to this one single little part. You know, it's one little single thing. It's all connected, and all it is just an expansion of energy and expansion of a field. So really, space is just the illusion. It would be like if you took a piece of Laffy Taffy, all right, and you heated it up, right? The Laffy Taffy is just this piece of Laffy Taffy, right? And you take it and you stretch it all the way out, right? You could really theoretically take it and stretch out very thin, and then all of a sudden you can now have this Laffy Taffy that's way over here and way over here, and sure there's distance, but it's not really distance, you know. It's all still the Laffy Taffy. So these were the things that right off the bat I was thinking to myself, computer program, like why wouldn't we be? And so yeah, so I'm always thinking of ways that seem to lead me back to that. I don't know why. It's like just makes so much sense that we could be this, you know. And so then I went and I just did some Google searches and I started looking around, digging through, like, you know, through the internet and Googling, and sure enough, there are other people who came up with, you know, that thought of this idea well before me. Obviously, I didn't expect to be the first person who just stumbled into this and discovered it. But I look around, and there was a philosopher in England who wrote a paper on it, saying that we could theoretically be a simulation of our descendants, our distant descendants that are trying to simulate the world that we lived in and see what we were like, maybe possibly discover what their old history was. There were all these different things that was being brought up. So, you know, and it just, so I was like, well, obviously other people are going to think of this, you know, and, you know, try to get into more complicated ways. And you could essentially, yeah, you know, do this entire piece that turns into philosophy. And you know, they made the argument that if they, you know, there were two different arguments, that if you had the computing power to be able to simulate something like this, would you waste the power into doing so? And then others were saying that another argument was that if you had the computer power to do it, this is exactly, it would be done, and we could be that, you know, simulation. And then it started getting into simulations within simulation, simuception. There you go. Simulaception. There you go. But going beyond that, my glitch, Campa. So Campa, I told Campa yesterday, I'm like, hey, put me on for 5 o'clock, and I said a few other things, and then I said I think I found a glitch in the system. So this is what people, this is what some people have that philosopher said, out in England, 2003, wrote the paper. He said that if you wanted to find proof, you'd have to look for things in the universe, and he said specifically cosmic rays. Things were like a cosmic ray that would just be going straight, and then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, it would change direction. For a reason unknown, it would just all of a sudden change direction. You have to look for flaws, essentially. What's wrong with you? You have to look for flaws and glitches in the system. Exactly, Bob. So, so this is gonna sound just goofy and crazy, but I can't figure out what happened, and I can't figure out what else happened to it. In fact, actually, let me rule out the last possibility of what I knew it to be. Sean. I was curious. Did you by any chance the other day? I had a little, like the sauce from that six.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had two sitting, and one was missing. You didn't by any chance say, same thing, but I'm so confused. Something girl, yeah. And it was just I don't know missing. It's no big deal. Okay, so now I'm back. Okay, so now I just rule out the other possibility. So my glitch that I think I discovered was that okay, so lately like once a week I've been ordering pizza from this place called Hungry Howie's. Great pizza, by the way, if you ever get the chance to get it, get it. Um I've been getting pizza from a place called Hungry Howie's, right? So when I get it, I also get these cinnamon sticks that you can dip sauce and you can dip them into like these what is it? It's like a cream sauce or whatever. It's like you guys know what I'm talking about? You dip the cinnamon sticks in what's it called? God, it eludes my head. What's it called? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? What's it called? Frosting? It's like a dipping frosting, I guess. I don't know. A dipping glaze. Sure, there you go. So you can dip them in this frosting, which is glaze, right? So basically, I had an extra one sitting in the fridge the other day. Asgard was not joking. He really is. Asgard, I love you. That's fucking awesome. Proof. So anyway, the other day I had two sitting in the fridge, and one was a one that I had from last time because I ordered three last time, and then the other two came with that new pizza order. This was just on Monday. So I used one of them, and then I pulled out to go get the second one that was sitting in the bag, right? And I caught when I got the order, I counted both of them. I was like, okay, perfect. They got my two dipping sauces, and then I got one sitting in the fridge. So I ate one, and then I took out one and I put the other one in the fridge with the other dipping sauce. And sure enough, after I finished the first one, so there should be two now sitting in the fridge, right? Because I have one from previous and a new one that just came with the new order, one from my previous order. Sure enough, I come into the fridge, and there's one there. Like 3 hours later, it was like 3 hours later. There's one, and I was so baffled. And I dug around the fridge. I looked everywhere, and I couldn't find it. And then I asked one of my roommates, and she's like, "No, why would I take that?" And then I asked the other one, and she's like, "No." There is no way that somebody just came and just took it in that 3 hours I was sitting there. I was sitting here in the living room this entire time, and I was programming and working, or watching TV. I was like going back and forth between doing that, and out of nowhere, I legitimately could not. I couldn't get it going. I couldn't figure it out. So that's my glitch. That's my glitch. Unexplainable. I was so bent on figuring out what had happened to it, I dug through the trash. I just to make sure. I was like thinking to myself, look at this little guy, he's so cute. No, I thought it was sleepwalking, right? Or something like that, but I dug through the trash. I looked through everything I could, and couldn't find it. I couldn't even find an empty container of one that was maybe possibly sitting around from before. Because I thought to myself, maybe I just was not paying attention, opened up the second one, ate it, didn't even realize it. Could have happened. But there was no trash from the second one. And I found even the first one I took and I kept it inside the box. So I went digging through the trash, and I went through and I found 4-day-old trash. And I was like, well, clearly it's not down here. It was the most baffling thing in the world. And it still is. I'm still completely baffled on how it just went missing. I am. It's not just missing. So then the first thing I assume is, well, maybe my roommates are really lying to me and stuff, but they really would not have any reason to lie. And there's just there's no reason. Like I just can't seem to find it. And there's nothing. That's another thing. There's no reason that they would have taken it, because there's nothing that they would have dipped it in. maybe early dementia. I don't know. But I just thought to myself, there could be those little tiny instances where little tiny glitches in the program just randomly make stuff poof. You know? Have you guys ever been so sure that you knew where something was, or that you took something and you did something with it, and then all of a sudden it's just gone for no reason. You have no idea, no nothing. You know? I don't know. Who knows? It was funny. That's why I was saying. That's why I texted to Gampa. I said I found my glitch. By the way, I found the glitch in the system. Because my dipping glaze was went randomly missing without a trace. It wasn't even open, nothing. It just poof, it's gone, poof. And I specifically remember I stacked the new one that I got on top of the old one, and then all of a sudden I leave, sit down in here, eat for a while, blah blah, don't eat, and then I take 3 hours, walk back in, and one of them's gone. So confused. So confused. It was so confusing. So puzzling me. Anyway, so that's my glitch. But yeah, so I've got this little theory that I know nothing more frustrating than dipping glaze vanishing, right? So that's my little theory, is that we live in a computer program. Is it provable? No. And even if it was provable, even if it was provable, then what about the thing outside of us, the great almighty programmer? Could they be programs within a program? It could go forever, right, Rick? Oh. Anyway, so that's the experiment of the day. Yeah, there's nothing here they could have dipped it in. Nothing. No bread, no nothing. Like, we don't really keep a lot of food here. Could your glitch be related to quantum entanglement? Yeah, maybe. But now this is the thing. See, now this is where, because how do I say this? Have you seen any movies lately? No, I haven't. Like, scientists say this, that theoretically, if one human being was to walk into a wall for the length of the entire universe, as in the length of the time of the existence of the entire universe, eventually at some point you would walk through that wall. That's what they observe when they shoot atoms repeatedly, or electrons repeatedly at like a steel plate. Eventually some of them bounce through. So some of them come through, even through a plate that is solid, all the way through, right? Or a wall. And what they call that right there is that if something has enough energy, it will go all the way, it'll bounce through and either bounce out other ones, or it'll just go through it, in between, because there's still space in between these electrons, right? So it's like a rare chance for it to just magically come through all these different spaces. And so they say that mathematically, the mathematical odds of you walking through a wall, you would have to continuously walk into that wall for the entire length of the universe, for the entire course of the, when I say length, I'm thinking distance length. I'm trying to say it's better. For the time of the universe's existence, the entire time of it, you'd have to continuously walk through that wall, and eventually at some point, all your electrons, everything in you would line up perfectly to be able to go through that wall. Now, you got to ask yourself, where does mathematical probability stop and reality start? I mean, I remember hearing once that if 1,000,000 chimps got together in front of 1,000,000 typewriters and started typing away, after 1,000,000 years, you would eventually have the entire piece of Hamlet written out. Now let's stop and let's think about that. Is that really, are one of those monkeys going to really somehow put together the entire piece of Hamlet? I don't think so. That looks fun, Asgard. That is really cool. That is really, really cool, actually. I would like that. So anyway, that's the stuff where you gotta start asking. It sounds like something. Actually, that sounds like something. The men who stare at goats or whatever. So that's a little piece of the stuff that I've been thinking about in my quote unquote free time. To be honest, I don't really like sit around and think about it too much. It's something I think about when I'm doing other things that don't occupy so much of my attention. Like for instance, when I'm working the door at the club, um, I a lot of times I'll be sitting there, and if it's a slow day, like last night was slow as shit, I just sit and I think of things. You know, these would be some of the things. So this will be some of the things. Did he really pop up when I said Hamlet? What are you doing, little guy? He just loves to be lazy and want attention all day. It's exactly what he's like. He's like, just lay by me and pet me and love me and keep me warm. So cute. It's a good boy. Yes. What are you doing? What are you doing? That's it, Bob. It's an act of mine. Oh, he's a baby. Oh, he's a baby. Real easygoing topics. Brad, I love you. What are you doing? What are you doing, old man? What are you doing? You're a baby boy. Why are they looking at me, Mike? What are they doing? Why are they watching me? He's so cute. Space Girl outfits. No, but like yeah, like that or last night I figured out what I was doing wrong with this with something so stupid. Campy, you might appreciate this. So I was trying to insert values into this stuff in MySQL, MySQL, and I was just taking two specific column IDs. In fact, Campa, maybe you can answer this for me. So Campa, let's pretend that I have 10 different column IDs, right? For whatchamacallit. So I have like user ID, and then I have username, date of birth, all this different stuff, right? Now imagine this, Campa. Imagine that if I'm trying to inject or trying to insert information into those rows. Let's say hypothetically that I just pick date of birth and I don't know, username, right? And I don't even put them in order or anything like that. And I just want to insert these two variables into these two usernames. So I do the name of the column and then the values, right? So let's say this, Campo. Let's say I just put those two. Is it gonna go looking for those and insert those two values in order to those specific column names? Or do I need to put every column name and then I need to fill null for the ones that I don't want any new information in? Do you know what I'm talking about, Campo? Zeus doesn't have a Twitter. I can't keep up with my Twitter. I don't think he can keep up with his. Anyway, I'm pretty positive you're supposed to fill null and actually fill out the entire, all the, are we talking three-dimensional arrays? I mean, I guess it technically could be a three-dimensional array, but no, not really, Campa. I mean, Bob C. We're not talking really three-dimensional arrays right now. You don't have to list all the columns. Really? So it should just be able to detect whatever column you put on there and then insert it, right? Well, then I'm having an issue. RJ, I have not. I did not read that. When did you send that? That was a long time ago. Okay, I might have gotten something about that a long time ago, actually. Gamma, I'm pretty positive you have to list all columns, and then you just you put null for the ones you don't want to put any values in. I'm like positive of it because it was the only thing I come up with in my head last night. Why this stuff wasn't posting to the database. It's having the weirdest issues. The other day, RJ, I'll have to check the emails. I haven't checked the emails in a little bit. Oh. Anyway. Crap, what time? I have Damn dinner I have to be at. Oh, Toto, we'll catch you later, buddy. Love you, buddy. 1 second. There we go. Okay. Insert into table column 1, 2 values column. That's what I would think. It's exactly what I would think, Campo. But it doesn't work. There's something that I'm doing wrong or something. But then again, Campa, I'm also trying to work with a I'm trying to work with a table that's spitting back all the information in a while loop. It's your while loop. You know what I'm talking about for the members thing. Anyway. Hard to explain. But yeah. I don't know, for some reason Campo, like it doesn't work in what I've got put together, but I think I got the code put together wrong. So it's under the if and it's in a submit. It's in the if statement. If submit equals save, then it's supposed to save. It's supposed to take the values inside of mon1 and mon2, save them and post them into the database. The values. Question: when you do that, Campa, is it gonna automatically erase what's already in there? Brad, we'll catch you later, buddy. Love you, buddy. Maybe that'll be something better when we get back on when we get on the phone for. I'm just trying to think. It will overwrite. That's what I thought. So you don't need to do like a special update or anything like that. Well, the old version of the code, if you want to check it out at all, if you want to check it out, if you got some free time and you want to take a look at this, I've got newer updated code with this. This is much older code that I've already like done better stuff with. Well, I was gonna say I don't have to send it to you. I can tell you to go ahead and to check out on the server. Sexy Bros. Where's the Sexy Bro? I think it's Sexy Bro. This is bringing me back. I know, right, Bob? It's fun. It's crazy. I like it. Oh, I like programming. It's good. It's a good little tool. It's like trying to engineer something to figure something out. But Campa, I'm gonna let you know right now that I know for sure that code's fucked. I have not looked at it in a little while. By like a little while, it's like 6 days, 7 days. Like it's been messed with and stuff, but it doesn't have the updated stuff because I just started doing it all on my computer rather than trying to do it through the website. Here. Just a second. Asgard, all right, buddy. We'll catch you later, buddy. So yeah, I'm just gonna let you know, Campa. Like that's probably not gonna be send me your code. Send me you're tired. You send me you're tired. You're poor. You're hungry. No, send me your code, Bob. Too funny. Asgard, we'll catch you later, buddy. You take care. Guys, I gotta go ahead and actually get going. I got dinner here in an hour that I promised I would make, and if I don't make it, I will get yelled at. I'll get yelled at bad. So I gotta get out of here, guys. Thank you guys for catching up, hanging out with me. I will be having more consistent shows from here on, probably like twice a week is what I'm thinking. Something that's not too difficult to keep up with, and actually, I'm gonna really make a move forward here, and this hopefully before this weekend, I'm looking to purchase a little MiFi thing that I can go around town with. So that way we can get out of the house. Because I found when we did that Starbucks show, that was way more fun for me too. I enjoyed it. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for, staying true and loyal to, for sticking around and, I don't know, being there even when I wasn't there for a long time. So it means a lot. I love you guys very much. And this was a fun talk today. I like talking like this. And yeah. Oh, and Sylvan, if you're watching this, je t'aime. All right? I'm out of here, guys. You all take care, okay? Remote shows, I know we gotta get out. We gotta do those. But you all take care, and I will catch you guys later. The Drunkers Rules Our Lives. Ooh, Rick, I haven't checked mail recently. I'm gonna have to do that this week. Okay. Kingpin, what's up, buddy? Guys, I'm just leaving right now. Kingpin, I am just logging out right now, buddy. I gotta get going. All right, we will see you guys later. Okay.